Well, after 7 months of silence, I'm finally back. And today we're going to be ranking the best to the absolute worst nations and Rise of Nations, of course. And before we start, I just wanted to mention that I am going to be more consistent. So subscribe, like, and well, share the video if you can. If you guys want to see another tier list video where I'm going to be tier listing the best to the worst nations in Africa or Asia, for example, do let me know in the comments below. And without further ado, let's get started. Now, of course, starting off, we're going to be ranking Albania. Now, Albania isn't the worst. It also isn't the best, of course. I'm gonna rank it C tier. Albania doesn't have any square cities, so I really can't give it a higher rank. You do eventually get a square city, which is Tirana, of course, but starting off, you have no square cities. You've got Greece, which is just destined to kill you and murder everybody. The only nations you can really attack as Albania are like North Macedonia, Montenegro, which are really easy to take out. Yeah, but other than that, I can't really rank it higher. So yeah, I think C tier is pretty fair. Next up is Luxembourg. Now Luxembourg is just F tier, bro. I'm gonna be honest, Luxembourg is probably the worst nation in terms of geography. It's sandwiched right between France and Germany, two of the best, if not the best nations in Europe. It's also got Belgium, the Netherlands, you've got Switzerland, so it's honestly the worst nation to play as in Europe. I really can't think of any other worse nations. Maybe the Vatican City, Andorra. Of course, Luxembourg has a bigger population and it has another city, but that really doesn't help if you're still a microstate, especially if you're sandwiched right between Germany and France. So yeah, F tier. Next up, Bosnia, going back to the Balkans. I reckon Albania is a bit better than Bosnia, to be honest. Albania does have a better, you know what? No, C tier too. But you've also got Serbia. Serbia is just gonna attack you headlong. Let's be optimistic and put Serbia as C tier. You know what? Let's just be a bit optimistic and put Bosnia C tier. Similar to Albania, also doesn't have a square city starting off. The only problem with Bosnia is, well, you're next to Serbia, which is not the best in the Balkans. Serbia players do tend to be a bit more practical, so it's hard to defend against them. But if you're a good Bosnia player, you could do it. Next up, Cyprus. Cyprus is, I don't know, F tier. Really can't say much about Cyprus. Next up, Germany. Germany's S tier, bro. Germany is probably one of the best, if not the best nation to play as in Europe. Germany has everything, bro. Germany has an amazing amount of square cities. They're situated at the best places right next to France, the Netherlands, Belgium. Most people who play Germany are just tank spammers. They don't know the game that well and they're pretty new, but that doesn't change anything for Germany as a nation to play as. It's got amazing stats. It has an amazing location. All the other countries around you are weaker. You can invade the Netherlands, Belgium, Poland, the Czech Republic, what else? Austria, Denmark. So yeah, you're pretty much set as Germany. You've also got an amazing population, amazing economy. You start off as non-aligned, which is amazing too. Nothing really bad about Germany. Germany S tier. All right, next up, Romania. Romania is actually an A tier country, bro. I'll tell you why. Romania's terrain is just absolute hell to play against. It has those rocky mountains in the middle. It's good for you as a Romania player because you could defend pretty easily, but it's just the worst for any nations attacking you. Romania is pretty much A tier. It's also a bigger country than the countries around it, excluding Ukraine, of course. The only real threats are Ukraine, Russia too, if Russia attacks Ukraine. But no, you could also attack Moldova pretty early on in the game, and I think there's a formula for that. But yeah, Romania's A tier, bro. Next up, Serbia. Serbia's B tier. It's better than Albania and Bosnia, but not better than Romania. One of the main downsides of playing Serbia. Cities are kind of spaced out. It doesn't have that high of a population, but it's still one of the best nations to play as in the Balkans. So yeah, it's B tier. Next up is the Netherlands. Now, the Netherlands, similar to Serbia, B tier. You know what? I'm hesitant to put the Netherlands in B tier. Might actually put it in C tier, purely due to the fact that has a horrible location too. You're sandwiched between France and Germany, similar to Luxembourg. Another issue you're gonna have is the UK. The UK tends to attack the Netherlands straight off the bat, and so it's hard to defend unless you somehow ally Germany, France, and the UK. Then it's gonna be good. You can attack Belgium pretty easily and Luxembourg pretty easily, then form Benelux. So yeah, after that you're pretty much set, but you're gonna have to have a miracle to ally all those three countries and not get attacked by them. Next up, Spain. Spain is A tier, bro. bro. Spain just has a gateway to Africa, so you can get those resources pretty easily. Morocco's usually never a player, so you can attack them. Portugal too, attack them and then form the Iberian Union, increases stability, and yeah, Spain's just a solid country overall. Next up, Andorra. Andorra's F tier, of course. Don't think I have to say anything. Armenia. You know what? Just because of its location, I think that gives it a better tier. C tier. It isn't the best, but it also isn't the worst. Location is pretty safe unless oh, I forgot about Russia. D tier. Location is pretty bad unless you ally Russia, of course. Then I guess you could say it's a C tier country, but I don't know. D tier. Alright, Austria isn't that bad, to be honest. I'd say Austria is C tier country. You could attack Slovakia. You've got a horrible terrain, which is good for you. You could defend yourself pretty easily. Of course, you also have an easy way to attack Switzerland. If you do actually get Switzerland, then I don't think anybody is gonna mess with you. You've got the worst terrain to play against, so yeah, you're pretty much set. But the only downside to playing Austria is it's pretty boring. It needs a lot of patience, so yeah, C tier. Next up, Azerbaijan. Back to the Caucasus. Azerbaijan is similar to Armenia, D tier. It is a bit better than Armenia, so I guess C tier. I think that's Belarus, but it's a bit cut off. Belarus is actually downplayed a lot, bro. It's actually a good country to play as. B tier. Of course, you have to ally Russia. Then you could go for the Baltic countries and maybe Poland. I don't know why nobody plays it. Maybe because of Russia. But if you ally Russia in the beginning of the game and the Russia player doesn't care that much, then yeah, Belarus isn't that bad. You can attack the Baltic countries pretty easily early in the game. You could develop yourself easily. It starts off as non-aligned, if I'm not mistaken. That's a solid country if you ally Russia. Next up is Bulgaria. Bulgaria is better than Albania and Bosnia, of course. And yeah, you know what? Yeah, but Bulgaria is B tier, up there with Serbia. Might actually be a bit better than Serbia. Next up, Croatia. Croatia is C tier. You have to watch out for Italy and Bosnia. It isn't the best. It's not the worst too. I'd say it's better than Albania. I don't know. C tier. All right, Denmark. Yeah, I'd say D tier. Germany's up there. You're under Norway, next to Sweden. The UK is there too, so you've got a horrible location, but you're not as bad as Andorra or Cyprus, for example. You can actually defend yourself, and you do have a population, so that's a thumbs up. So yeah, D tier. Estonia, I don't know. Estonia is similar to Denmark. Isn't the best, but it's not as bad as one of these countries in F tier. Might actually be worse than Denmark, to be honest, because it's right next to Russia too. Even if you ally Russia, you can't really do that much except for forming the Baltic Union, I think it was called. But of course, you're gonna have to also look out for Finland, Belarus, Poland too, of course Russia. So yeah, I don't know, D tier. Might actually be F tier, but let's be a bit optimistic. Finland is not that bad. Of course, you have to look out for Russia, but if you can do that, then you're pretty good. C tier. France is A tier. Now, France actually, I don't know. France is an S tier. France is actually worse than Germany. You might also say France is worse than the UK. But in defense to France, it's actually a pretty good country. So yeah, A tier. Can't really say much about France except for it's a solid country. Next up, Georgia. Georgia's C tier too. Can't really say much about Georgia. It's in the Caucasus too. Of course, you have to watch out for Russia. I actually think all the countries in the Caucasus are pretty much even. Each one has a pretty good set of cards. If you play them right, you could unite the Caucasus. Next up, Greece. Greece is actually one of the better countries in the Balkans. I'm gonna put Greece as B tier. It's a bit better than Serbia, to be honest. Of course, you have to watch out for Turkey, that's all. But yeah, other than that, you could defend yourself. Hungary. Really don't know where to put Hungary. It's pretty much even with Bulgaria, but it's worse than Romania. It also has a worse location, I guess you could say, than Romania and Bulgaria. So yeah, C tier. Next up is Iceland. Now, Iceland, you know what? Iceland is goated, bro. Nobody attacks Iceland except for Canada, maybe. If Canada wants to go into Europe or make a base there right next to Europe. Other than that, pretty solid as Iceland. Could make a navy pretty easily before Canada even thinks to attack you. So, B tier. Ireland. D tier, bro. I've never seen an Ireland player win against the UK. Ireland actually isn't that bad of a nation, but just because of the UK, so it's gonna have to go to D tier. Italy. Italy is I want to say A tier country, but It's a B tier country purely due to the fact that it has so many releasables. If you don't watch out for your stability as Italy, it's game over for you. It's also a bit weaker than France, Spain, or Germany, of course. So yeah, B tier. Next up, Kazakhstan. I really don't know if Kazakhstan is in Europe. Really don't know where to put Kazakhstan, to be honest. Oh yeah, it does have a little bit of its land in Europe. It's hard to categorize Kazakhstan here because can't really attack a European country as Kazakhstan. You're a bit further out, but as a country, Kazakhstan is probably A tier, to be honest. Its location is amazing. It's one of the best countries in its location, but Russia and China usually attack you pretty easily and pretty early on. So yeah, C tier. That just puts it down there for that factor alone. It has tons of resources, so you're that #1 target for Russia and China. It's pretty hard to defend against both Russia and China. Next up is Kosovo. Kosovo is F tier, to be honest. Can't really say much about Kosovo. In the game, it isn't that strong. Kosovo's not that great of a country. Pretty easy to attack. Down there with Montenegro and North Macedonia. Actually, where is North Macedonia? Yeah, there it is. And there's Montenegro. They're F tier. Next up, Latvia. Latvia's D tier. Pretty much all the Baltic countries are D tier. The only exception could be Estonia, but Estonia is also pretty D tier. But it is one of the better countries in the Baltics. Might as well just put Lithuania D tier too. Next up, Liechtenstein. Liechtenstein is F tier. Not that much to say about Liechtenstein. Liechtenstein. There we go. Not that much to say about that nation. We've got Malta as well. Malta's F tier too. Pretty self-explanatory. And what is that? Is that Moldova? That might actually be Andorra. Oh yeah, no, that's Moldova. Moldova is also pretty bad, but it's not F tier. You're almost always attacked by either Romania or Ukraine, and yeah, you're the weakest out of those two. So have fun defending yourself. Moldova, despite its size, also has a releasable, which is Transnistria, I think. So you do have to watch out for stability. Next up is Monaco, F tier. Norway is a bit better than Finland. Norway is actually B tier. Norway has one of the best terrains. Nobody likes attacking Norway ever. Not even Sweden. It usually takes years to attack Norway and finally sign that peace treaty. Norway's B tier. Poland is almost always taken out by Germany. But the good thing about Poland is it's actually not that bad of a country. Could always attack the Baltics. Belarus, of course, the Czech Republic. If Germany doesn't get there before you, of course, you're going to have a peace treaty with Germany and Russia, because Russia usually is at your doorstep early on in the game. You know what? B tier. Poland isn't that bad, but considering its location is pretty bad, I might even say C tier. But let's be optimistic, say you're an amazing Poland player, because honestly, Poland players are one of the best players. I've seen amazing Poland players, and yeah, B tier. Next up, Portugal. I don't know. Portugal is a good nation, but can't really be optimistic when you've got Spain right next to you, just cuddling you, bro. So C tier. I don't want to put Portugal down there with Denmark or Lithuania. So yeah, C tier. Next up, Russia. Russia is without a doubt S tier. It has all the resources you can imagine. It's a big country. Of course, you're gonna have to look out for China, the US, and Germany. I've seen Germany players take out Russia plenty of times. So you're actually gonna have to be a really tactical Russia player. Don't waste any money. Don't waste any manpower. Be always ready. Try to form the Soviet Union or Russian Empire early on. You've got a ton of manpower, so you can just send those men out to war. Russia's S tier. San Marino, F tier. Slovakia. Oh, we've also got Slovenia next. Slovakia and Slovenia are pretty even, but no, who am I kidding? Slovenia is much worse than Slovakia. Slovenia is, I don't know, D tier, alright. And Slovakia's B to C tier. Slovakia has amazing terrain. People hate to attack Slovakia. Slovakia, if it plays it smart, can also attack Austria pretty early on. So yeah, that just gives it another point. Being optimistic, Slovakia is B tier, but on a bad day, Slovakia is C tier. You know what? Let's just be optimistic, just as we've done this entire video, and say Slovakia is B tier. Next up, Sweden. Sweden is B tier. Sweden is B tier with the rest of the Scandinavian countries. Switzerland. You know what? Switzerland is A tier, bro. I'm not even gonna lie. Switzerland is hell to attack. It's the worst, bro. Switzerland players are amazing at defense. Usually have tons of forts. They have tons of defense. Their terrain is horrible, bro. Next up, the Czech Republic. Czech Republic is C tier. Can't really say anything. Guess, you know what? D tier. Yeah, the Czech Republic is D tier. Next up, the UK. The UK. I want to, you know what? Yeah, it is S tier. It's better than France. You're up there in the waters, so it's really hard to attack against. You usually have an amazing navy. You can attack the Netherlands straight on, just to have that little strait. I forgot what they called it, but yeah, the UK is an S tier country. Oh, did I forget to mention that you can form the Franco-British Union pretty easy, not that easily, but pretty early on in the game, especially if France isn't a player. We've got the Vatican City, F tier, don't need to say much. Turkey is, I want to say S tier, but it's probably one of the better A tier countries. You know what? No, Turkey's S tier actually, bro. You can also attack the Middle East, Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, Jordan, Kuwait, get that oil, attack Egypt too if Egypt isn't a player. You can also go into Europe. Pretty much all the other European countries around you are weaker than you, except for Russia, of course. And Russia doesn't really care about Turkey that much, to be honest, in the game, except for late game. So yeah, if you just ally Russia, you're pretty much set as Turkey. So yeah, Turkey's S tier, bro. So yeah, Turkey's S tier. Last but not least, we've got Ukraine. Ukraine, I want to say A tier, but it's right next to Russia, bro. Who am I kidding? Russia always takes out Ukraine. So, sorry, but C tier. Unless, of course, you get a peace treaty with Russia, then you might go A or B tier, but I don't know. I want to say B tier, yeah. The last in the line of the Bs, right there, B tier. But it's better than these C tier countries. So, yeah, that was my ranking. If you guys think I made a mistake or disagree with anything I've got here, then let me know in the comments below. Yeah, this is what I did. I think it's pretty fair. If you guys want to see an Asia or African countries tier list next, let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys in the next video.